People! The people aren't happy. People are revolting. No, Big Jim, we've had enough. We can't do any more. It's asking too much. What's asking too much? I think you know what is asking too much. WWE SuperCard. For those of you who are familiar with our videos and watch us regularly, a couple of weeks ago I asked the question. I was feeling a bit burnt out from all this WWE SuperCard. I asked the question, was it taking up too much of your time? Is it too much? All these team events on the back of the individual events, you'd be grinding 6 days a week. It's too much, in my opinion. I asked the question of you guys, is it too much? And the overwhelming response was, yep, it's too much. And what's been interesting within the past couple of weeks is, for those people who make videos regularly of WWE SuperCard for YouTube, and the streamers as well, so it's anyone who makes anything to do, any content to do with WWE SuperCard, just have a look at their Twitter accounts over the last couple of weeks and see how many of them are reviewing whether they even enjoy playing the game anymore. They certainly don't seem to be enjoying making videos anymore because there's just so much going on and it just takes so much time. And if you want to do well at the game, you haven't got time to be making videos and editing videos for you guys. It doesn't work. You need that time to be grinding. And just having come out of that latest Team PCC, it struck me as I was playing at 4 o'clock one morning, this isn't right. This is not right. And of course, it's all very well you doing that, but if the rest of your teammates are in bed, and they're not playing, or for whatever reasons they can't play, you're actually wasting your time, aren't you? You're wasting your time in these team events if you haven't got 9 like-minded individuals alongside you, all willing to grind. Failing that, you've got a team all prepared to invest a bit of cash to get those title matches or pick doublers or whatever it is, what particular event you're in at the time, to try and get you to those cards. Now these team event matches as well, what are the rewards? The standard Survivor cards. So is it really worth it? Is Cat Daddy expecting us to do too much? I think the answer to that is yes. So on that note, let's have a look and see where we've got to. Now my particular team, now I'm back with Team BadLadDad. For the team event, we voted for The Rock. Didn't work for me because I'd actually got a single Undertaker, so I got it done with Undertaker. Not that we stood a snowball in hell's chance of getting that Survivor card. So if you have a look at where we finished, we were just over 6,000 points, 443rd. Now we did get to around midday on the Tuesday, which means it was about 12 hours, 13 hours. We finished at 2 o'clock in the morning, about 14 hours to go still. Now at that particular time, I was on 800 points. Matt, bless him, was on around 1,000. And then, as you can see, as we skip down, basically there's quite a vast difference between bottom and top in terms of points gained. It was very obvious we were knocking around the 200 position. It was very obvious we weren't going to get that Survivor card. Now, looking at the positionings, it only does top 50 in the leaderboard because, of course, you used to have to be in the top 50 to get the Survivor card. You needed, I think it was 16 or 17,000 points to be at that stage. So what you needed to be in 75th place, I'm not certain. How am I going to get to the leaderboard? Show me the leaderboard. I want the leaderboard. Give me the leaderboard. Right, we don't need to see our team place because that's zillions of places behind everyone else. Yeah, well done to all you guys who finished top. You're all brilliant. Well done. Well done, all of you. Let's get all the way down to 50th. Right, 17,500 points, just over. So you're probably looking at around 16,500 points to finish 75th. So that's 1,650 points each. Now, for all I've said well done to the top 2 or 3 people in my own team here, there's not even one of us has hit 1,650 points. So what chance have you got of all 10 of you hitting 1,650 points? It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. So I think certainly in terms of Team PCC, unless you are with some serious grinding professionals who've got nothing else going on in life and they can totally dedicate themselves to grinding, it's just not going to happen. And I think you have to just embrace that fact and say, okay, we're going to do better in other team events. On this particular occasion, it's just not worth doing. So I actually stopped. Well, I've done 2 more matches. I stopped at around 800 points on the midday on Tuesday and thought, this just isn't worth it. And I'm not prepared to spend the next 8 to 10 hours grinding away just to go up from an ultra rare card to an epic card. It's a waste of time. So, that of course comes on the back of a personal event. Now, Road to Glory isn't particularly taxing, but over the weekend I was just dipping in and out, and it was Sunday evening before I did get that Daniel Bryan card. Let's just claim our rewards here. Where's my rewards? Give me my reward. So, oh yes, look at that. Well worth having. So, that was actually quite a lot of 3 or 4 days taken up chiselling on this game. Now, there's other games I like to play, and particularly at the moment I'm enjoying Marvel Champions. You don't have to spend any money to enjoy that. You can have a real good crack. There's lots of events going on, lots of characters to play with. WWE Immortals, WWE Immortals. You don't need to pay money to play that. You can just quite happily play it. You just get the feeling now with WWE SuperCard, unless you're prepared to pay for bouts, to go and buy packs of players as well, you're just going to be treading water. You're not going to be progressing, and it's not a comfortable feeling. I don't like that feeling. I don't like the feeling that unless you're going to spend some extra money on the game, and let's face it, some people spend 3 figures, maybe perhaps even 4 figures by the time you add up what they spent over 2 seasons. Is it really worth it for something that is going to be out of date in a few months' time? I think the answer to that, we all know, is a definite no. So, getting back to the game itself. So, just as I say, just look at the amount of YouTubers who are struggling at the moment, struggling to find the time to make the content, and actually having sort of battle with themselves as to whether they want to continue playing the game. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Ninja Boy's not going anywhere. He's actually had some good news. You got the Randy Orton Survivor card, and since then, when the throwback packs, see, it's back to buying packs, but when the throwback packs came out the other day, I bought him one as a present, and he got a Razor Ramon Survivor, and he's already got one Razor Ramon, so he's got a Survivor Pro out of that. So there you go. He's back in action and looking forward to things. Anyway, here we go. Here's this week's Road to Glory, and what a great selection of stunning cards available that they are, leading all the way up to that meaty Survivor card, Gold Dust, the one you've all wanted. It's the one they've been clamouring for, desperate for. Cat Daddy, well done. That's the one we all wanted. No, it's not the one we all wanted. And of course Daniel Bryan, which I will have to go for because I've already got the one card, and it'd be stupid with a right arrow card not to go for it. So I shall be doing the usual Road to Glory over this coming weekend. Now, if we just have a look at King of the Ring, I've got another win to pick up. Let's just go on to my normal card Survivor and have a look at where we stand. Now, Diva-wise, I've got a Survivor card to pick up. That's the bottom line. We've got a Survivor card to pick up. Another King of the Ring win. And again, people are saying, how do you keep winning them? How do you keep getting a Survivor card? How do you keep getting to the final? I just always enter at about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. If you're struggling and you can't get through to beyond the first round of the knockout stages, just try entering at some different times of day, and you'll find different crowds come in. Of course, if you're going to enter at 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening your time, there'll be loads of people joining in. But if you're doing it at a time that's, shall we say, unsociable hours, and we're all good at keeping unsociable hours, that's not a bad time to enter, because there's only maybe 1 or 2 people who are interested at that stage. Anyway, so let's just have a look at me. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. First of all, combinable cards. I've still got Brock Lesnar to turn into a pro. I've still got Shawnee Michaels, HBK himself, to do. I've still got Adrian Neville, and I've got a second Kofi Kingston to do. So I've got plenty of Survivor cards in terms of combinables, and none of them are going to muscle into to my exhibition squad with all of the event cards that I'm knocking about. But what would be useful would be another Diva. Now, Diva-wise, Charlotte and Sasha as pros. Bayley, I've now got 2 legendary Baileys, which I could turn into a pro if I need to, which would obviously be compatible with Charlotte. There's a single Nat, single Paggy, another Sashar. So what I would hope for would be another Bailey, or failing that, one of these two lasses, rather than just getting another Sasha Banks. So I'm very much wanting a diva, and very much one of the girls that I've already got. So let's skip back to the, where is it? King of the Ring finished. And in this particular King of the Ring, I'm pleased to say, actually, mentioned him previously, Thompson, or Thomas as I was calling him, Thompson actually got through to the final. So he was the one who I was having a chat with away from the main forum for quite a bit, and we both got through. And he did actually message me just after this first leg, or at least I picked up the message. He'd already messaged me beforehand saying he was going to bed because it was unsociable hours and he couldn't keep the unsociable hours. See, it worked. So he went to bed, and that gave me the chance to romp home for the win. So I will get a legendary card as well for what it's worth, but it's just the getting to the final. That's what counts. That's what we want. It was nice to see yourself on the throne, and I don't mean that in a toiletry sense. There we go. As you can see, again, it was one of these. It was important to win the ladder stage, just so you had a fairly comfortable ride to the final, which is what happened. Anyway, enough of all. Let's claim some rewards. Claim reward. Right, diva, 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 diva. A diva, 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 diva. A diva, 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 diva. Oh, it's a bit of a girl. It's Dolph Ziggler. Have I got Dolph? I think I already have Dolph. I probably haven't got Dolph. Doesn't really matter, does it? On this day. And Edge. I don't think I've got Dolph. Let's go to combinables. Any Dolph? No Dolph. Oh well. Okay, so again, I apologise to those of you who've only got one or two Survivor cards. Who are like, well, you always going on about you got too many. That just comes back. Play King of the Ring. Those Survivor cards, they're not coming from pulls from the deck. There's maybe, 3 or 4 pulls from the deck there. It's from King of the Ring. Spam your King of the Rings. Just non-stop King of the Ring. Play King of the Ring. It's the way to do it. And if you're not having much success playing at the times you are playing, play at different times. And there's other little tricks you can do, but those two things for the time being should carry you through. What else can we do? What else can we look forward to? Exhibition mode. Should do a little bit of it. Let's do a little bit of exhibition just while I'm talking. We've got quite a lot of things on our own plates here at BadLadDad HQ. As I mentioned, it was Ninja Boy who started playing Marvel Champions, and it looked quite interesting. But I thought I haven't got time to get involved in anything else. It's bad enough trying to juggle all the things that we are doing. But very soon got into it, and I know it's been knocking around for a little while. It's a bit like Clash of Clans, which again is something else I've only really started playing recently, but have very much enjoyed. Just up to Town Hall 7, and I've just this morning in fact, maxed out my final piece of wall. So I'm at the stage where everything is maxed out in my TH7, and I've got to make that step up to TH8, but I'm a bit nervous. You know what it's like? You've got to make a step up, and suddenly everything you've got is at the bottom rung again. Having been top of the rung with TH7, I'm going to be bottom of the rung on TH8. So, a bit nervous about making the step up. So what with that, and of course FIFA 16, and WWE Immortals, which has raised its game in the last couple of weeks, it means SuperCard is just sort of lagging behind a bit. And I think that's why people are just getting a bit with it all. Because it's not doing anything new. If anything, it's just being more demanding of the least enjoyable part of the game, which is the grinding. And of course, to power cards up these days, it was a nice move to change it, so it wasn't just a case of chucking a load of cards in, that you do need a certain amount of gameplay to stack the cards up. But even that's a bit too much. I mean, I've got so many cards. A lot of which aren't powered up correctly, certainly around the legendary level, because I've been picking those up as extra rewards from King of the Ring. I don't really want to delete them, particularly as we might have Fusion Chamber. Fusion Chamber's got to happen. Now let's think about it. WrestleMania is 32 days away as of today. WrestleMania 32 in Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas. So, that means I would have thought that we're about 4.5 weeks away from seeing some sort of action on WrestleMania tier. Now, does that mean that Fusion Chamber will come out at a later date, 2 or 3 months down the line? I don't know. But for the first time in my WWE SuperCard career, I've actually got to the stage now where I'm deleting cards. When it says your card catalogue's full, I'm deleting all the common and uncommon cards, which is unheard of. We've never been doing anything like that in Season 1. You've had plenty of things that needed feeding up. And you can't use, say I've got 3 or 4 legendaries that I want to power up. Yes, a good place to use those would be in one of the events, because you're grinding through the events. The downside of that, of course, is if you use those cards in an event, it lowers your deck down, more than likely down to, say I use 3 or 4 legendaries, obviously bring it down to legendary tier, and then you would run the risk of blowing a free pull. So your top tier pull would suddenly become legendary and not survivor. So there's no encouragement to actually use those slightly lower cards in your decks to power them up. I hope you followed what I'm saying there. I know what I mean. It's something that's really beginning to wind me up at the moment. So the basic concept of the game is fine. Perhaps it's been too adventurous. Perhaps it's bitten off more than it can chew. Trying to please too many people with too many things. How about... I didn't do my tag teaming very well there, did I? If you were paying attention. How about they do alternate weeks with individual and then team. Individual and team. I would much prefer that right now, to be honest. Because then, if you felt that you're just in a team for a bit of fun and a bit of chat in the forums and what have you, you've actually got every other weekend off from the grind. And also, you won't feel so burnt out. We obviously know why they're not going to do that. It's because they want people to spend money on the tokens to try and boost the scores so they get to the targets quicker. And I think it's that side of the game that is just beginning to irk people. It's beginning to get to people a bit too much. Well, certainly I shall continue to play. I mean, it was quite nice having that week in the YouTubers team for that ring domination. I mean, one, it was an easy ring domination, wasn't it? The team ring domination. It was a fairly easily achievable target, which, you know, we should have some challenges like that. Not all the challenges should require you to get divorced or resign from your job just so you can spend enough time to play the damn thing, or not do your schoolwork. Although that probably would be quite a nice alternative, whereas the other two are probably quite serious in terms of your ongoing life and well-being. So, you know, they could vary it a bit. Some of the events don't need to be as hard as others. I don't know. There's whatever they're thinking, whatever the long-term planning. I think what they've not thought about. I've reached the card limit. What they've not thought about. With all the people who've said, yeah, we could do something a bit different, they've not thought about the fact people have got real lives to live as well. And they've got other things they want to do within those lives. And you can't spend your entire life, 12 hours, 14 hours a day, grinding on WWE SuperCard. It's that simple. And I have to say, Cat Daddy, just look at the comments in my previous videos, look at the comments I'm sure they're going to start appearing down below. The people agree. The people are revolting, and I'm there as their leader. Join me, people. We can be revolting together.